to talk about today? Well, we're in the greenhouse. I've turned off the swamp cooler. It's getting hot, hotter by the minute. I want to confess, I had forgotten the other problem. I'd forgotten the other problem with about the black cloth up here, that it heats up. There's so much heat up there, I had to move plants. It was baking them. And I've left it because I just lowered all my plants. There's nothing in these pots, and notice I took down all the things except those are trees. And they like the heat. They're indigenous to the desert. My spider plants here, we'll see. They were, I think they'll be okay. They're in the shade and they can tolerate more heat. Basil's on the ground. It was like, oh my goodness. So now my next priority is food and growing food in here. So the priority in here is to get this roof finished. And I've looked at it. I don't think it would be wise for me to climb on the ladder that I have to get up there and put screws in that, number one. Number two, it's got to be cut. And I'm pretty sure Bob did that with a grinder. He did a lot of cutting with grinder wheels. And I'm pretty sure that's how he cut it. So priority number one is to find someone who can do that for me. And do it well, right, without breaking anything, like falling through the roof, which is what I imagine myself doing. That'd be a long fall. So let's don't do that. Now, number two, I have leveled out and I've done a lot of digging, move the plants, and I'm getting this area. I'm going to sift the rocks out of the dirt, get some of that dirt, mix it with some organic potting soil that was brought to me for palm, cactus, and citrus. Mix a little of that in there and mix some of the potting soil that I have been using and been fertilizing, and a little bit, I've got organic fertilizer. So mix all of that together in a big pot and then use it as, I have not decided. Do I plant in the pots or am I going to plant it directly on the ground?
Rainy days don't seem so wet. Stormy nights don't stay. From the moment that we met, you were worth the wait. Oh, this could be the best thing that I'll ever know.
But what I want to do is anything like seeds. Have y'all ever seen? I didn't even know they had seeds. Bamboo. Those are bamboo seeds. Bought them on Amazon. It says bamboo seeds fast. Bamboo plants outdoor. Sort of. It sort of says that. But this is all I got in the package. So I'm thinking, mix up that soil. Make it real fertile. Even maybe get some from outside. I don't know. Anyway, with the sand here so that it's more of a... so it's more fertile soil to put them in. And similar to what's here, because eventually, of course, I want to plant those outside. So I'm going to try these in the pots. You can eat bamboo. I'm not just growing it for the ducks. It could be a food source for people. If I can get it going with the duck water. And I should also point out here that my wagon is broke. it got broken. The wheel. It's all a wobbly. And it won't roll. And it's the weld. I can't weld. So there's that dilemma that I will be figuring out what to do. I might just get me a new wagon if I can find one. But Bob made that one tougher. So, but boy, it has taken a beating over the, I guess I've had it, yeah, about 3 years. I got it when I first moved here. I'm looking at my list because I want to tell y'all what I've been doing. One of those things is, recently someone reminded me about the books by Frank Peretti. The first one is This Present Darkness. There's another one in the middle, and then there's The Prophet. They were done in the 80s, early 80s, mid 80s, and I read them sometime in the 90s, the early 90s. And I wanted to read them again because it's a very good visual of the spiritual warfare we're in. Well, someone had said, well, you could listen to it, the abridged version on YouTube. Well, I don't want the abridged. I wanted the real thing. So I thought it'd be nice to have them hard copy too. So I ordered the set. They're like novel size. And I ordered them on Amazon, and then I realized the print is so tiny. It is very difficult for me to read. I thought, well, I'll see what's on YouTube. The entire thing, unabridged, This Present Darkness, so you can listen to the whole thing. It's in at least 2 parts, probably just 2 parts because I'm halfway through the book. But sometimes I'll follow along, and then other times I just listen. Yesterday, I listened to 8 hours. 8 hours. So half of the book I listened to yesterday and followed along about half the time or some of the time. Anyway, it was very nice because I was able to crochet, and I was also able to stitch my boots. So my boots are officially have soles on them, and I'm very happy with that. I am just about ready to order me some leather and make my own pair of boots from a pattern. We'll see. The pattern I have are like knee-high boots. So I'm thinking, I wonder if I could just adjust them down a little bit, because I don't really want them up. I don't want to have to lace up boots all the way to my knee, but I'll lace them up to like my calf. I'm good with that. So we'll see. Okay, I gotta turn that swamp cooler back on. It is like really hot in here. And I will so I can get some work done. I love y'all. I'll talk to you later. Good morning. It's Tuesday, and I am working again in the greenhouse. Yesterday, I recorded all the work I did. So I thought it didn't. You saw some of it, but you didn't see the finishing where I was mixing all the dirt, and that would have been the fun part. And how it changed. So anyway, it didn't work. I'm going to try again today because I still have more work to do in here. And I'm going to plant some seeds, the bamboo seeds. This morning, before it got too hot out there, I did a little bit of shoveling and a raking in my front yard, what I call my front yard. And the path there was really just where Bob had raked all the rocks out of the way. That's where all those rocks came from. When he leveled the ground, originally to set up the tiny, it was sitting there. And then, once the shed came in, it fit in the same footprint. So he didn't really have to do anything. But all those rocks were moved to level that out. He did an amazing job leveling it out. And then we just kind of pushed them aside, and I am working on the things that I can do a little bit at a time, inch by inch. And that was one of those things. And it is better for me to get out and do that work, even though it's hard, than it is for me to sit in a chair all day. Oh my goodness. So don't do that. Get up, move around, shovel some rocks, rake a path. Try to level the ground. I haven't even got to the really hard part that's packed down, and I'm letting Mona help me. I'm going to let her be there tied out with the chain in the evenings, and the movement helps break up the dirt. But little by little. And in the wintertime, working on that side of the house will be nice because it'll be warm. So there is time. It looks like I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to be soaking in no tub before the end of summer. It's just not going to happen. Not this summer. Turned off the swamp cooler. It was so cool when I came in. I turned off the swamp cooler so that I could work and talk to you. No. I turned off the swamp cooler so that I could talk to y'all. And now I need to get to work. So I'm going to turn the swamp cooler on. And I will talk to y'all later. Well, I'm back. And I did the work. I planted the bamboo seeds. I also have put down more dirt. That is a mix of potting soil that I had in buckets sitting in my backyard last year trying to raise potatoes. The oddest thing happens. I haven't put water on that dirt in weeks. And yet, when I took it out of that plastic barrel, it's damp. What's the deal? I don't get it. It definitely holds moisture. That's why I keep killing things. I just don't take into account, I don't know if it's the black plastic or if it's the soil it's in. Maybe it's a combination of the two. All I know, I put down another layer, so that should give me good soil to kind of get things started. I am not ready to plant yet because I want, well, if I can, I don't know, I think it's Swiss chard is one that I could grow now, and I'm not sure if I have any seeds. I'm going to go look after a while because that would be the greens that would grow with the rest of the summer heat that I've got to have to deal with. It's a more heat-tolerant lettuce type. The bamboo is planted in the dirt I mixed up yesterday. It is at least, I'm going to say 50% sand, desert sand from here. Then I mixed in a little fertilizer, mixed in a little organic potting soil, and then I mixed in whatever that is that I have, that I've been using and amending for a year at least. And then I put it in the little pots. I've got 5 pots, and each pot has approximately 5 seeds. Then I sprayed them because that's how I get that water down in there to get on the little seeds. Then I put a little bit more of that soil on top, and then I sprayed them again. So I will spray that soil every day until I see plants, and then I'll monitor better. So, you like my little chalk marker? That's how I label the pots. Those are all yogurt containers, and Bob had saved them, I had saved them, and he went out, and I think I might have told you that, I've told somebody this. He bought me spray paint. He couldn't find any plastic paint that would work. So what he ended up with the color I wanted. And I was aiming for clay, something like that. Those pots are sprayed with primer. Krylon, is it Krylon? Spray, primer, that's what that is. In case you want to know. And it firms up the plastic, and it's got a texture to it, so I can write on it with my chalk marker. Of course, it will wash off. That's why I label all of them the same thing and then group them together that way. And so it's not a perfect system, but it works pretty good because I've got some of them that are still labeled apricot, and I never had an apricot seed sprout. Not surprising. I may have in a pot accidentally grown a moringa tree. Because I did have those seeds, and I know I planted some. Maybe they never came up. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure what happened. I just remember having the seeds. Maybe I only thought I did it. I don't know. Okay, y'all. So that's what I've been doing. I'm in the greenhouse. There's a lot of work to be done. And I am just about done for the day. I've got to go take care of the puppy dogs, get them in their places, and then I will go inside and work on my inside stuff.